50,000 plus comments posted on social, I only saw a handful that even considered the possibility of a bus owner being a more aspirational position and recognizing that I am actually speaking and pouring into the ascension of black men when I said what I said. But see, no, some of y'all were too busy naming and shaming me personally and black women in general as undesirable, gold diggers, and much worse. Now, I suspect that some of y'all are the same men that were bringing home C's and D's on your report cards, only to then be coddled by parents that said, well, that's okay, as long as you're doing your best. Well, listen, I love and believe in the excellence of black men. So no, my dear, C's and D's or any other form of mediocrity is not okay. No, I will not create a soft place for you or anybody that I love to fall comfortably into the bigotry of low expectations. So I'm going to say one more time, there's absolutely nothing wrong with driving a bus. My mother Gloria drove one for years. But could it be that black America has been sold a narrative of average, regular, and typical being good enough for us? Well, see, that's called white supremacy. And in this case, it takes the form of conditioning black Americans to happily accept being a permanent American underclass. But see, because I know the truth about black folk in America, no, average is not and will never be good enough for me. And the gag is, I don't think it's good enough for you either.
Sensational.
So what's up? It's Mike Perkins again, aka Man Bun Mike, aka Michael B. Podden, aka Me So Corny. One half of MVP, one half of Opinions Are Like Podcasts, one half of Mike and Vince Perkins, and for this here, I am the whole show. So, saw the clip in the beginning, you saw the thumbnail. Let's get to these bars. So, Miss Ebony K. Williams doubles down on what she said and then proceeds to make an argument that is based on community, that is based on white supremacy and other social political issues. Look, nice way to try to catch, but your preference in men has zero to do with the white supremacy. A man not on, it's like, I would be with a man, and she's saying this, I would be with a man if he owned, who drives a bus, if the man owned the bus. That is the most ridiculous statement of all time. And even in context, it's ridiculous. Like, you don't have to take it out of context. It's ridiculous because to insert, you know what I'm saying? Like, and I think that we need to do this because Ed Anderson said something that was very, very, and which he always does. Ed Anderson said something that was very, very, like, he said that Iyanla let her off the hook by saying bus driver. And I agree. She let her off the hook by saying bus driver. What she should have asked was, would you be with a plumber? Would you be with an electrician? Would you be with any tradesman? Would you be with a tradesman? Because tradesmen, although they work with their hands, do make a lot of money. A journeyman, would you be with a journeyman? Would you be with somebody who's an electrician, a plumber, or a tradesman? I believe, with all my heart, with all of my Michael heart, that she would still say no. Because in her mind, that guy doesn't have the status that she is looking for, which is the thing that women a lot of time leave out. Because again, there's no class. There's no class. There's only status and money. But status associated with money. Like, not a guy who makes a lot of money, who makes $200,000, $300,000, and he's, a construction worker or whatever. And not to say that they would, but you get my point. Like a truck driver. Truck drivers make a lot of money. Their job is not glamorous. You can make 150, as a truck driver. It's not glamorous. You don't have to own the truck. You can drive and make sure you do overtime and all that. It's not glamorous. It is what it is. It's truck driving. You know what I'm saying? enough truck drivers just get in their car, they put on their headset, and they do their job. And that's what they do. And that's wonderful. She should have asked her, would you date a truck driver? Would you date a tradesman? Would you date an ex-military? An ex-Marine? Because that would expose what I know she means. It's status that she's looking for. It's a certain lifestyle that she's looking for. And to double that, and this is the thing, when you make it about black men being better, when black men are, look, man, I keep saying this, there's no stat that shows that black women make more than black men. If you can't find a man that makes more than you, it's because you don't qualify for a man that makes more than you. Just like if you're a woman and you're 6'2". If you're 6'2" as a woman, that doesn't guarantee you a guy that's 6'5". You have to still qualify for the guy who's 6'5", because guys who are 6'5" don't just say, well, I'm going to pick a woman who's 6'3". That's not what they say. It's not one-to-one height to height. LeBron James's wife, for example, is not 6 anything. She's a little girl. She's a woman. She's probably like 5'6". She's a little woman, or an average size woman. We don't pick height to height. We don't pick salary for salary. You make 50 and she makes 50, so y'all should be together. She makes 300, he makes 300, so they should be together. That's not how it works. She's looking for status. And the way women use the word gaslight, it's as if they own the trademark on gaslighting, and they can't ever be guilty of it because they use the word so much. Like, we use the word gaslighting so much, we can never be. It's like black people can't be racist because, we use the word racism so much. It's just like we can't actually be guilty of racism. That's how it is. It's like, that is the most gaslighty comment ever. You don't give a damn about the black community, not in the context that you're using it. You know what I'm saying? Your need for a man that makes more than you and has more status than you is not a social political movement. It's just you wanting what you want. It's just you wanting what you want. It's not a social political movement. You don't get to bring white supremacy into a man who's driving a bus, and you think that the only way you could be with him if he owned the bus. If he owned the bus, that's not even a real thing. Would you be with a man who worked for Ford? Yeah, if he owned Ford. Like, that's just dumb. It's dumb. And it suggests that somehow you're worthy or deserving or qualified for that caliber and kind of man. You don't. Apparently, because you don't have them. You don't have them. If you had them, then that would be like, okay, cool, you deserve that. And it's not dollar for dollar. We picking the same. It's not dollar for dollar. It's not status for status. I got status, so I'm going to pick a woman with status. No. We pick based on what we want. The fact that you don't know what a man actually wants, your mama's fault. Teach you how to be a woman, teach you how to be a wife, teach you how to be a mother. That's your mama's job. That's not our job to get you and then form you into the thing. Nerve of you to bring white supremacy in this. You know what white supremacy is? You wearing weave in your head. That's what white supremacy is. White supremacy is you wearing makeup to lighten your skin. That's what white supremacy is. White supremacy is you feeling comfortable with going on LeBron James's internet and downing black men. That's white supremacy. White supremacy is you holding black men to a Eurocentric standard of finances that you didn't come. See, you love Eurocentric, you love discounting Eurocentric standards until you want a man to fit the criteria. You love saying, well, you want a woman who's like this because that's a Eurocentric standard. Your beauty standards are about Eurocentrism. The way you want women to act is about Eurocentrism. That's about the white man. Until you want something that the white man does. Now, granted, I don't even care. Make money, provide, protect, lead. That's just what it is. But if you want those things and you didn't make them up, and you associate that with the white man, then that's also white supremacy. But we can't call it that. We can only call it white supremacy when I want something. It's only white supremacy when I want something. Saying that men are broke, saying that men are in prison, saying that men are all of these horrible things, and even when we got money, we either love white women or we're gay. The old trope from 1987. That's white supremacy. But it's not white supremacy when you do it. Stop trying to make it's not us. Your outcomes are your own. Because nobody's marrying you. It's not that we just not marrying you. Nobody's marrying you. And the story that she told about her and her ex-boyfriend or fiance leaving and going to his family, because she don't have no family, she don't have no kids, going to his family and his kids because the quarantine was happening. And it's just like, well, we don't know what's going to happen, so I'm going to go and be with my family. He chose his family and his ex-wife. You know how unbearably intolerable you have to be in order for a man to just say, fuck it, I'm not doing this no more. Granted, it was the pandemic, we didn't know what was gonna happen. But his priority had nothing to do with you. And it was an easy decision. Doesn't sound like he made this decision under duress. It would sound like he was just like, yeah, I'm just gonna go with my kids, because. And when the pandemic hit, I wanted to be around my kids too. Didn't necessarily want to be around my ex-wife, but my kids. And since we shared 50-50, they were going back and forth. Some days, I had to keep them longer because she thought she had COVID. Whatever. But it wasn't a thought. It was like, yeah, I want to be around my kids. I don't think I had a girlfriend at the time, but I would have chose my kids. You don't qualify. That's not white supremacy. That's the dating market. I'm tired of women using their lack of qualifications for the kind of man, the kind and caliber of man that they want, and trying to make it a social political movement colorism, trying to make it a social political movement fat phobia, trying to make it a social political movement featureism, intersectionality. Your inability to get a man is not a social political movement. It's not white supremacy. It's you're intolerable. You don't qualify. The end. Take it. I gave the example last episode of me DMing, of which I didn't, me DMing Chloe Bailey and saying, hey, I think you're a wonderful woman. I make good money, and I would love it if I would be able to take you out on a date. And then she didn't respond. Is there something wrong with Chloe Bailey, or do I just not qualify? It's probably the latter, not the former. If the men you want don't want you, that is not a social political movement. Nobody needs to start a social political movement because you can't get the kind of caliber of man you want. Maybe you need to either be better or accept the level that you're at, because realistically, no man owes you shit. That's my time, man. I'm gonna get on out of here, man. Like, share, subscribe. Keep showing me love. I appreciate all of y'all. This is Mike Perkins, and I am out.